He has presided over and helped usher in the largest illegal immigration catastrophe in our nation's history. It's not even close.
Republicans in the House Homeland Security Committee will advance articles of impeachment against Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas. They say he has grossly mismanaged the southern border. This will likely set up a path for a full House vote. If passed, though, the effort to oust Mayorkas will likely die in the Democratic-controlled Senate. Pressure is mounting on President Biden to respond to Sunday's drone attack against a U.S. base in Jordan that killed 3 U.S. soldiers.
We will hold responsible the people who attacked our troops. We'll do so at a time and a place of our choosing.
Biden is walking a fine line between making a measured response without escalating tensions in the region. Meanwhile, yesterday, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that there's been movement on a hostage deal between Israel and Hamas. On the 2024 campaign trail, frontrunner Donald Trump scooped up an endorsement from the head of the Texas Republican Party, Matt Rinaldi. Announcing his endorsement on X, Rinaldi said that we need everyone in this fight. Meanwhile, Nikki Haley is trailing Trump by double digits, according to the Hill Decision Desk HQ. She's down by about 31.3 points in South Carolina, and nationally, she's at 13.9% compared to Trump's 70.7%. A lot of folks just don't see a path on how she would get there ahead of Trump at this point. Elon Musk hailed the success of the first person to be implanted with Neuralink hardware, Musk's latest tech innovation, calling the surgical procedure that embedded a chip in a human brain promising. This is a landmark step for the prototype brain medical device. But let me know, would you want a Neuralink implanted on your brain? Earlier today, I spoke with Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene in a wide-ranging, exclusive interview about immigration and other issues. President Biden, meanwhile, he said that he would in fact shut down the border, an authority that he would use should the bipartisan negotiation bill that the Senate has agreed to with regards to immigration reaches his desk. You've said this is a non-starter. Former President Trump has said this is a non-starter. Why is it a non-starter? Why not advance the bipartisan bill and then in a Republican-controlled administration try to get even more?
Well, President Biden is talking about he'll only shut down the border after 5,000 every single day come across the border. That's the number in the border deal package coming out of the Senate. That's not a border deal. That's a border surrender to people wanting to invade our country. And that's why it's a non-starter. If President Biden wants to be serious about securing and shutting down the border, he can do that with a pen on his desk. And he did that. He totally ripped our border wide open with his own executive orders when he became president on day one by totally wiping out strong border security measures like Remain in Mexico. And he brought back catch and release. It is such a dangerous time for our country. And this isn't a time to play partisan politics. This is a time for Americans to come together and realize that the Biden administration has created a national security disaster for our country. And Secretary Mayorkas made it absolutely worse by violating federal immigration laws. I would love to work with Democrats. I would love to see bipartisanship happen if they actually cared about the United States of America. But they're more interested in the Senate and funding billions of dollars to Ukraine and throwing money all over the world for other people's borders instead of our own.
But Congresswoman, and I want to press you on this because when you look at the Senate, there is a bipartisan deal. They did agree to a bipartisan deal. And so it is a bipartisan immigration proposal. And you say you want to work with Democrats. Former President Trump has said the same exact thing. But at the end of the day, here's the bipartisan deal. And my question to you is that particularly for moderate voters who want to see something happen, especially at the border, no one's debating that there's a crisis at the border. There's absolutely a crisis at the border. But when there is a bipartisan deal that has been put forth, strategically, I'm curious, why are conservatives such as yourself saying it's the everything or nothing as it relates to this? What strategic imperative do you place on that? Is it because of presidential politics?
No, Kevin, I challenge you to be serious in front of your viewers. 5,000 people a day. You call that a bipartisan deal? There's only a handful of Republican senators over there that are willing to be traitors to our country with the Democrats and allow 5,000 people to illegally invade our country before they think about shutting it down. That's not bipartisanship. That's America Last, and it is absolutely dead on arrival. It will not happen in the House, and it's a joke.
What about the Congresswoman Boebert race? Are you going to get involved in that primary?
That's not something I'm looking at. I think she's got to earn those people's support. I saw that she came in 5th place in the straw poll over the weekend, which she should be very concerned about. I think that's a serious primary, and it seems like there's some good candidates in there. We'll see what's happening with the polling and the direction it's going in, but that's not something I've decided to do at this time.
That's it for today's Daily Debrief. My name is Kevin Cirilli. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to The Hill's YouTube channel, and come back here soon for the intersection between politics and policy.